Good morning. It is Wednesday, July 6th. I'm getting started on my morning walk over an hour late. Hence all of the sun gear and the fact that the sun is brightly out now. It is my son's day off of work, so my 5 a.m. alarm did not go off. And while I normally wake up at 5 a.m. without the alarm, we had storms all night, and I had insomnia all night. So I slept in. And I was very, very stiff this morning. I only slept in an hour. I was very, very stiff this morning. It was very difficult getting up and going. I also spent probably double the amount of time stretching than I have been because of the stiffness. It was one of those days where I would have stayed in bed normally. But trying to do the whole, these are the days where it's difficult. So these are the days where it's most important to follow through on these habits. And it's a beautiful day out. It's also one of the harder days for me. I debated bringing my cane along because I didn't know how muddy it would be out here. And I didn't know how my hips would be. But after the stretching, I was like, I think my hips would be okay. Instead, I just opted, instead of wearing my regular shoes, I just wear my dance goes out here for walking. Because they have a bit more support. Instead of my Toms, which are my everyday wearing shoes, to switch to some all-weather hiking boots that I own. I purchased last winter on clearance. Actually haven't worn until now. They were originally $90. Got them for $17. Absolute steal. But they've got the completely rubberized toe. There's been a smoke by here. Country life. Yeah. Anyways. We don't deal with snow very often. We get it maybe enough for it to cover once or twice a year. And the best thing for me to do is to stay inside. I don't have to go out in it. But these are the kind of boots that are good for mud. We do get enough mud to justify having these kind of boots. My hesitancy on buying boots like this in the past has always been laces. When I was diagnosed, laces became the bane of my existence, and I gave them up. I got rid of all of my shoes and boots that had laces because I couldn't tie them. I tried alternative laces, the rubberized straps and stuff like that, and I couldn't grip the tongue of the shoes enough to slide my foot in with even those type of things. And I went to shoes I could wear that were slip-on only and no heels, which I love shoes. One of my retail management jobs was actually at a shoe store once. I love shoes. So giving up shoes was one of those rough transitions, Spoonie transitions, and I know all Spoonies go through this when you're dealing with being newly diagnosed and making that transition from, you know, normal life to Spoonie life. But the day I purged my shoe closet, I cried. Sat on the floor and cried. Getting rid of all my high heels and stuff like that. I just this year purchased high heels again. I finally found, and I can wear them limitedly. I mean, I can wear them for like 30-minute standing tops. It's mostly for sitting and photo shoots, to be honest. Taking pictures with my dresses. But I was able to find a shoe company that made adorable shoes. And not only adorable shoes, but the toe box is made very wide and squarish, and that accommodates my feet swelling from the arthritis in such a way. And they're Mary Janes, so I can slip them on and they stay on securely. So it's hot chocolate designs. I have a couple of pairs of those. They have flats too. I have a pair of their flats. So I have a few of their shoes, and it's nice to be able to have a little bit of that of my identity back. But yeah, I guess that's part of learning. When you become a Spoonie, you have to kind of, I don't know, there is a loss, and that's part of why there's a grieving process. There is a loss of not only what you're able to do physically, but there's a loss of identity in a lot of ways. And you kind of have to rebuild that back up. And you can rebuild that back within the Spoonie community as a Spoonie, which I've tried to do. And then also trying to find ways to express yourself as you, not only you as a Spoonie, but as you as an individual within the accommodations of what you need. I can't walk around in those heels. Like, I can't go out in those heels. I can't go shopping in those heels. The other day I was talking about how difficult shopping was for me. I don't need to use an electric cart like I used to, but there's no way in ever-loving hell would I be dumb enough to wear high heels while walking around Walmart. I would be a crying, blubbering mess by the end of it. But when I did that video of my dresses out here in the yard, I wore the heels for that, and I took breaks between those dresses when I was changing the clothes. Also changed those shoes. If anyone noticed, I switched shoes halfway through, so my heel length went down halfway through from the tall shoes to the mid-heel shoes. So I was able to take breaks, and it it was a way for me to be able to do it. We have a local ice cream parlor that we like to go to, and I can wear the heels there. And the reason I can do that is I can handle walking to the car, sitting in the car, and the parking is right at the building, and it's a little itty bitty vintage building. Used to be a bank. We get our order and we're sitting basically immediately, so my amount of standing isn't much, and so I like to wear my little vintage dresses going up there, because just the whole, like, we're going to the ice cream parlor. It's actually called the Old Fashioned Ice Cream Parlor. Oxford's Old Fashioned Ice Cream Parlor. Or ice cream shop. And so I like to wear my vintage dresses out there, and I'll wear the heels there. And, we'll get an ice cream. It's a $10 date, because the ice creams are $5 each. It's a $10 date. It gives me a reason to dress up. And, it gives me a way to express myself without straining myself too much. Although it took me years to get to this point. But it's a matter of trying to figure out a way to, be yourself within, I don't want to say limitations, but that's really what it is. Within the limitations that your body puts on you. The limitations of fatigue, the limitations of pain, the limitations of mobility. We can still be ourselves. We can show who we are, even within those aspects. Being creative has always been my outlet. Before I opened the shop, I crocheted. I was learning how to crochet when I got diagnosed, and the doctor actually really encouraged me to keep crocheting. She was like, I was just learning. I'd made like a little itty bitty scarf, like one of those skinny scarves that was really popular back in the day. I think that was all I had successfully made at that point, just learning. And she was like, keep crocheting if you want. Like, because I was pretty upset, because I was like, struggling holding the yarn and the hook. It hurts a lot. I just learned this thing and I'm liking it. I'm going to have to give it up. She's like, no, keep doing it. Even if it's only for 5-10 minutes a day. Keep doing it. Because it's helping, almost like a physical therapy for your hands. And you want to keep your fingers, the mobility going. And I've gone 1.5 loops. It's kicking my ass. Pain in my hips suck today. And I'm stopped near the skunk. I gotta keep walking a little bit further at least. Oh God. She said you wanted to keep moving your fingers. You have to keep moving your fingers. And she was like, we're going to get you to physical therapy anyways, and we're going to get you to occupational therapy, and they're going to give you all these exercises, but the best way to do this is everyday stuff, because people tend to follow through on everyday stuff better than they do with sitting down with their sheet and doing exercises. And she was like, so if you're doing something that's kind of nimble, requires your fingers, keep doing it. So I did. I used adaptive stuff for my crochet hooks, grips for my crochet hooks to make it easier. I worked with occupational therapy until I could buy better hooks. And then I kept crocheting. And that was kind of how I expressed myself, was just by trying to learn a new craft and be creative that way. We could barely afford yarn back then. It was before disability came through. I wasn't working. We were one income. It was extremely rough. A $4 skein of yarn was a luxury. And it was, every time I could make something out of it, I could turn that little thing of yarn into a scarf or a hat. The first year I made a lot of scarves while I was learning stitches. A scarf or a hat. And then I went on to making toys. That was, sense of pride you get from that. An accomplishment. Crochet had been one of those crafts where for years and years had baffled me. I could not comprehend it. I literally could not wrap my head around it. I had knit before until I got a wrist injury and I could not handle the twisting. Like, no amount of occupational therapy or anything could make it so I could knit again. And crochet, you can keep your wrist straight. So that was kind of like, if I'm going to get back into yarn craft, it's going to be crochet. So I had sat down one week and I was like, I'm going to make one item just to get over this mental block. And if I hate it, I can at least say I know how to do it. And then I can put it aside and say that I tried it and I know how to do it. And if I never touch a crochet hook again after that, I'm done. And after I got done making the scarf, I fell in love with it. My favorite thing to make is the amigurumi, the little stuffed animals. I love those. I've made big ones, I've made small ones. All sorts of super cute ones. I don't crochet very much anymore. We're again back to my hands are swelling and I'm struggling with it. And with the sticker shop, I have to decide, am I going to spend the spoons my hands have on cutting stickers or crochet? And cutting stickers wins out every time. So I haven't crocheted in a very long time. But I try to get my creativity out with creating stickers now, designing stickers instead. But I still have my yarn and I still have my hooks. I'm going to try to get back to doing it. I'm hoping with the start of Humira, that will help manage the inflammation a bit better and I can add in this again. I'm going to try one more loop. Actually, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to loop the perimeter of my yard because we had the storms and I want to make sure everything's okay. I have the boots on. We have some blackberry bushes over here. I want to make sure not everything got shook off. So, you get to see the perimeter of my yard. Look, flowers. So I have so many new plans for the shop. right now. I don't have enough time in the day to get it all done. I need like 3 of me. We're rebuilding my computer because I need new software and more hard drive space before I can really get started. And I'm eagerly awaiting that to happen. I'm going to have to take down my computer, which kind of sucks. But it will be very, very worth it. Oh yes, here's my blackberry bush. There's a few ripe ones on there, but most of them are not ripe. We got get around these brambles. Blackberries are invasive and they are all over the freaking place. I don't pick very many. This is mostly for the animals. Mostly because I'm not climbing back there to get them. But yeah, we have a bunch of blackberries. I might come out here since there's so many berries that didn't get shooken off. They're still on through the storms. I might come back out here in a week or so when it's all ripe and try to get a few that are close. Anyways, I have so many ideas for the shop. Once my computer is rebuilt, I can try to implement some of that stuff. With the shop turning 5 this year, which, oh my God, I cannot believe I made it 5 years. So many times I thought I would have to close the shop because of my health. I'm so shocked that the shop has made it this long. But with the shop making it to 5 years, I'm really hoping we can get these upgrades done in the next week or so I can get the first 1 or 2 project ideas set up so I can at least announce it by the shop anniversary, because shop anniversary is at the end of the month, so I have a little bit of time. But we have to we have to do this computer upgrade first. My current setup is just not capable of doing it. Can't wait though. I really can't wait. I'm so excited about the new stuff. And try and get another new scheduling thing. Doing block scheduling. I've tried this before, but like normal, I tend to focus into it too much. And I try to, it's supposed to be block scheduling. It's supposed to be, you've assigned a block, and within that block, this is what you do. And I was still micro scheduling when it's supposed to be macro, which literally is the opposite of it. So this week, over the 4th of July weekend, I sat down and I was like, I have ADHD and I'm autistic. And when it comes to schedules, those two are polar opposites. The autistic side of me needs routine. The ADHD side of me squirrels every time you try to give it a rigid schedule. I have to find some sort of medium, because this isn't working. And so I've turned back to block scheduling, and I'm like, all right, we're going to try this again. I'm going to try to do it the right way. And so I basically sat and I looked at my daily routine, and I'm like, I've already got essentially a routine going. I just don't call it a routine, because the moment I do that, my ADHD freaks out, and every time I try to say I have a routine, there's a part of my mind that goes, no, you don't. You have days where you can't climb out of bed, so you don't have a routine. Like, no, actually, I do have a routine. I just need to pull it out. I have to pull out what my average day is. And so I sat down and was just kind of like, if I'm not looking at like times or anything, what do I do most days? Like, most days I get up, most days I do this, most days I do this next, most days I go into, this is my morning routine. Then I go into the office, and this is kind of my next steps. Sorry, I was throwing my phone down, throwing my glasses down. Like, I set up kind of a rough draft. I drive Trent to work in the mornings. I pick him up at about the same time. It varies because he doesn't get off at a set time. But I know about what time I pick him up in the afternoons. And when I go out in the afternoons, that's when I try to do my afternoon errands, because I'm already leaving the house. So if I have to go to the store and I need to go to the post office, that's when I try to do it. Because I'm leaving the house. So I already have, when it comes to block scheduling, a errands block. I already have a morning routine block. I already have a work block. James is working from home now with this new job, but he does have a set schedule. He has a time he is off work, and when he is off work, I try to wrap up and get out of the office myself and kind of do like cook dinner and have evenings time. So there is an evening block. Like, I do have routines here, and they are kind of schedule timed based. I already have blocks here. I just haven't formally sat down and said there's a block schedule. So that's what I did this weekend. And I just very rough drafted. And I'm like, I'm not going in and like scheduling out every 30-minute block or anything. I'm like, we're just doing, this is about the time I do the morning routine, which I'm already doing. ADHD, don't go crazy. This is the time I'm already typically doing my errands. This is the time I'm typically eating lunch anyways. And just kind of, for this week, just kind of sticking to what I'm already doing and just seeing if it falls in line with what I already wrote out. I'm just going to see where it goes. Oh God, I have to bend down and pick up my hat because I threw it on the ground without thinking. Now I hurt and I don't want to bend over. So I'll keep you updated on how the block schedule goes. If it works well, then I'll probably actually do it like the formal way. But this week is just the rough sketch. Anyways, I'm going to get back in. I'm going to get in there, make a cup of coffee, and rest. Because today was a hard day. Today I would have stayed in bed. I did not want to stay in bed. I got up and did it anyways, so thanks for staying with me, even though I had to take several breaks. And I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be so hard tomorrow. I'm hoping to get over that initial, we're starting a new walking routine hump, and it starts to get easier soon. Hopefully we're getting there soon, but today was rough. Glad I did anyways. Thanks for sticking with me. And I'll see you tomorrow.